Hello there once again, it's your old pal Locke the Bounty Hunter, and on today's very special episode, we are taking a look at one of my favorite channels. It's Complicated is back with Single by Choice, and you know me, your favorite intergalactic space bounty hunter is incapable of passing up some cringe, especially from some drunk Las Vegas folks, so the link to his channel is in the description box down below. Check him out, give him a like and a subscribe. He is truly worthy of a seat at the charades party of the intergalactic space god Limlaflar. All hail, so let's not waste any more time and dive right in, shall we?
Many women complain that guys don't appreciate them enough. How do you know whether to blame men for not making enough effort or women for not showing enough gratitude?
I feel like it goes both ways.
No, it does not go both ways. Because pretty much in today's day and age, you're always the victim and the man is always the perpetrator. Even if you hit him in the face with a frying pan, it's still his fault. Even though you'll never be caught dead with a frying pan, you wouldn't know what to do with one if you had it.
Personally, for me, it goes both ways. Men tend to not put effort into something they don't think is worth it, but some men tend to play women a lot of the time, so it just really depends, and men don't like putting effort into something they don't find worth it.
Correction, Chad will not put effort into any poontang he don't find worth it. That's what this is about here. A lot of men will put in the effort if they deem the woman worth it. However, considering your level of clear Chad chasery, that's just not gonna happen anytime soon, sister.
I think women don't show enough gratitude towards guys nowadays because like it's so many guys around. But
there are so many guys around. What the hell does that even mean, woman?
Guys nowadays don't know gratitude towards women because I think they're like gay or something. What?
Because they're gay or something. Yep, that's the only logical explanation. Yep, anything to avoid accountability. Yeah, smart.
Women think men need to do more. Men think women expect too much. Which is it?
Women expect too much.
Absolutely. Modern women expect way too much out of relationships. Just take a look at what they want. They want the mark of the beast. 6 foot, 6 figures, 6 inches. But it's more than that. They want the loyal Chad. And they're more likely to find a pixie to sell them a magic potion for weight loss. It's honestly, I'm not even kidding here. I think the odds of that happening are more likely than her finding a loyal Chad.
Is it harder to satisfy men or women?
Women, 100%.
I feel like it's more hard to satisfy women.
Yeah, because you don't want to be satisfied. You want drama. You crave drama the same way the fish craves water, sweetheart.
Because women will have a lot of needs. They want to be taken care of, they want to be loved emotionally, physically, and materialistically.
And men want the same thing. They want to be taken care of as well. They want peace, they want warmth, they want trust and respect. The only difference is that you actually throw material things in there, and most men couldn't give a crap about that.
We are picky, we are particular, and
you want Chad.
Men can try, but sometimes they have to try a little bit harder because we have our ways, we have our boundaries, we have the past, and we have our experiences.
Is it harder to say?
All right, so in other words, you've seen more trains than the railroad worker. Yeah, I kind of figured as much. Yeah, we're not dealing with that, sister. That's your problem.
Satisfy men or women?
Women, because they're so difficult.
So then why should men even bother trying to please women if they're never satisfied?
They shouldn't. Not unless there's some form of reciprocation.
Well, because
not never satisfied. Only some women.
So
they're they're too entitled. Yeah.
You might as well spoil her.
When you like a guy, do you make any effort to impress him or do you just show up?
Sorry, sir. That question is one and the same. Modern women think that by showing up, they are showing that they are expecting this guy to put in all the effort. A modern woman's ability to waste oxygen is somehow equivalent to her actually showing she's interested in a guy. That's just the way it is.
If I really like him, then I make the most effort to do my makeup good, do my hair good,
So in other words, you do nothing and show up.
I want him to treat me like I'm high value, and I kind of feel like I'm only high value if I look good.
Lady, that nose ring says you are the lowest possible value.
Why do so many women think looking your best is going above and beyond when it's really just the bare minimum?
Because at the end of the day, I feel like men only really care about what you look like, and like kind of what you can achieve is a second thought.
Spoken like an empty-headed modern woman. Of course you'd think that way. Men actually do have thoughts, we actually do have feelings, because you don't want us to think and you don't want us to feel. You think that you can think like a man, when in reality, you think more like a moron. A spoiled moron, but a moron nonetheless.
I feel like a lot of women put a lot of effort into their looks because they think that's what men want and like what women want, depending on what you're into.
We don't dress for men. We dress for ourselves.
I feel like women put in a lot of effort, even though, you know, they consider it the bare minimum. But to a lot of women, they're doing, you know, the most, you know.
What are they doing? Besides spending 6 hours to apply like industrial grade makeup onto your face, what exactly are you doing? What effort are you putting in? And how are you keeping score on any of this? I mean, come on, you're gonna have to give me some more examples besides none at all, woman.
They're doing a lot to impress the guy or to impress the girl that they're talking to.
Isn't the man also expected to look and act his best?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and he's expected to look and act his best at all times. For like the day they meet until the day he dies, he must look 100%, and she's allowed to let herself go like 3 months after meeting. That's just the rules that they set.
First impression.
So why do so many women think looking and acting your best is going above and beyond when it's really just the bare minimum?
Checkmate.
Dang. Shit. I feel like
You know what, gentlemen and gents? I've come to the realization that if a modern woman ever answers a question without the phrase, I feel like at the beginning, I'm fairly certain I might die of shock.
a lot of people do think that way when it is the bare minimum. So ladies, you got to bring a little bit more to the table.
How can you bring anything to the table when you are the table, you silly little duckling? Oh man, sheesh. No one's gonna listen to you, lady, because we live in a society where all women think that they're gods and all men are plebs.
A little bit.
Who puts more effort into forming relationships, men or women?
Men, by far. They're required to do all of the legwork.
Men.
Who puts more effort into ending relationships?
That is a double-sided question. If you're talking about a long-term relationship, women, absolutely. But if we're talking about a situationship with Chad, it's definitely the man. There's no comparison there.
Women.
Why are 70% of divorces initiated by women?
Because they're emotionally impulsive cretins who get their advice from TikTok.
Why are they? Usually because they're unhappy with the treatment that men are giving them. They're not.
How can you be unhappy when you can't even provide a definition for the word happy?
Happy with it.
If women are typically initiating the breakups, why aren't they the ones expected to initiate the hookups?
Because modern women want to feel special. And if they don't feel special, then they don't have their romantic comedy era. And if they don't have their romantic comedy era, then their life is just a complete and utter failure. I mean, let's just call a spade on this one.
I feel like they feel like they're too good, maybe to approach somebody. No.
Oh my God, look, she is using every single one of her brain cell. It is fascinating to watch them try to complete a coherent thought. Just look, she is trying so hard. It's almost adorable if I wasn't praying for Armageddon constantly.
Never mind. Delete that.
You blew it. Capiche?
I feel like men are more hungry for that kind of like hookup culture rather than.
Men are hungry for hookup culture, and yet it is the women who control access to the bedroom. You did not think your answer through, sweetheart.
Than women.
Because it's tough and it's very unfair. As a woman, you get hit on so much, you learn to be numb from it. But when a woman is attracted to a certain type of energy,
Come on, lady, there's so many names. Chad, Tyrone, Raphael, Takeda, Chang, Wang, Buford, the list goes on and on. Just pick one of those names. Don't talk about energy, don't talk about vibing, or any of this spiritual crap that you don't believe in. Just say you want a Chad to be with you for the rest of your life. That's all you need to say.
type of man, she will assert herself to take that step.
Are most women single by choice or by circumstance?
Choice. There is absolutely no excuse for the sheer amount of single women we have in today's society. There's just no excuse for it. We never had this problem before until a couple of decades ago. That's what's really ridiculous about this whole thing. This is a new phenomenon. But modern women have been so run through and become so insufferable that they have no choice but to be single because nobody wants them.
Ooh, that's a really good question.
I would say by choice. I feel like there's a lot of lonely cat ladies that are happy that they're lonely.
Lonely cat ladies that are happy they are lonely. You do realize that lonely is sort of a negative trait, right? That's kind of a negative feeling. You know, you can be happy with solitude. A lot of men find solace and completion in solitude. It can be oddly therapeutic. It's kind of cool in many ways.
Are most women single by choice or by circumstance?
By choice.
By choice. These guys are about anything for real.
Are most men single by choice or by circumstance?
Circumstance, because you wanted that girl, but she didn't want you.
So why are we shaming men for staying home and watching OnlyFans when women are the ones choosing to remain single?
Because modern women are perpetual victims, and they are victims of men. Men can't win in today's society. If they go out and they try to hit on women and show some confidence and show some game, then they're creepy, or they're bedroom fun crazed lunatics, or they're this, or they're that. But if they stay home, they're not giving the good women a chance. They're being losers for staying at home and playing video games or watching OnlyFreaks. You know, it's just, we can't win. Men just cannot win. So why do you think so many of us have just taken ourselves out of the game? It's not worth playing anymore.
No, we're only shaming baby daddies.
You know, you choose to either be in a relationship or you choose to be single. And a lot of women choose to be single because a lot of the men...
Wrong, sister. The man chooses the relationship. The only jack that you get to choose is, well, yeah, use what little's left of your imagination on that one, sister.
And the dating population in general is just so messed up. Nobody is really dating anymore. Everybody...
Well, you're right, but that doesn't stop you from calling it dating. I mean, pretty much we just have a whole bunch of people stumbling around. Some are hooking up, most aren't, and you still call it dating even though there's no purpose to it.
Everybody's just wanting to have sex. Everybody's just wanting to do everything. So I feel like...
And who set that precedent? Remember, it is the women who choose the bedroom partners.
Like on a level, it's more of a choice than anything.
Are women's dating standards too high, or are men just lazy?
I say too high.
I say men are lazy.
Hey woman, it is very easy for you to say that men are lazy when you're the one who's spending most of her time on her back.
Sick burn.
I feel like men are just lazy because nowadays I feel like men just don't put in the effort. They kind of want to be the woman themselves. They want the flowers. They want to be treated out. It's sassy. Just, yeah.
Oh man, that is an oldie but goldie. Men want flowers. So pretty much a man just wanting some respect and some kindness is feminine nowadays. You just want to treat a man the way you want to be treated, which is like complete and utter garbage, which most self-respecting men won't do because, well, first off, that just sets them up for all sorts of headaches later on. And second, most of us don't like treating other people like garbage unless we're being schmucks on the internet. All hail.
They just act like women.
I just don't think men are as forward as they used to be. I actually think that they want or wait for the women to be the aggressive ones, which we don't want to do.
I think they've been conditioned that way because that...
No, we haven't been conditioned. We have been warned. There is a difference. We haven't been conditioned to not approach you. Modern women made it abundantly clear that we were not to approach under any circumstances unless we met the bare minimum criteria of being an aesthetic 8. An aesthetic 8 is considered average by a modern woman. Anything less than that is grounds for a false claim. That is grounds for you putting a guy on blast. There's no chance in hell we're gonna risk that. All we ask now is that you approach if you're interested. That way there's no confusion, and even then you can still withdraw your consent up to and including 6 months after the fact, and the guy will still go to jail. So hell yeah, we're staying away from you. It's for our own good.
That's what
they think it's feminism. They think it's women want to,
The man is trying to take...
We don't care what you want. We don't care what you want because you share the same sentiment towards us.
Why do women think they're the only ones who deserve to be chased?
Because romantic comedies, Disney movies, and romance novels. They want to be the princess of their own love story, and life doesn't work that way. They'd rather have the fantasy than actually have the reality of having a healthy relationship, because if she doesn't have the fantasy, then her life is completely meaningless.
I don't think that they feel that way.
Why do women think they're the only ones who deserve to be chased?
I guess it's showed in like movies where like the man always comes to the woman first, so I think that's the general idea, and plus I think it's more like manly and ladylike to be that sort of way. It's kind of traditional.
Why are lonely women more likely to make TikTok videos asking where all the good men are than they are to actually approach a man and ask him out?
Because she wants pity.
I think they rather wish upon a star than actually go and find what they're looking for.
Delusion.
Yeah, I'm not into like looking for a guy that like doesn't want me. I want the guy that comes to me. I don't know why.
And I found a toilet made out of solid gold, but it's just not in the cards now, is it?
It feels better.
I think it's because they have it set in their mind that that's the man's job, but
it's amazing how everything is the man's job nowadays. You don't have to do anything anymore, sister. Wow, it must be nice.
on the flip side of that, it's scary, just like it is for men to approach women.
Why don't women typically approach men?
I feel like if a woman is confident enough and she feels like she looks really good right then and there, and she's not, maybe introverted or shy, she would definitely go and approach somebody.
And that's an interesting thing about mathematics, is when you're 50% right, you're 100% wrong.
So here's the thing, if you're in a situation where you are dressed to the nines, then you're probably going out to a place where there's a lot of men, or at least where a lot of chads congregate. In that event, you will gravitate yourself to a chad. You'll do that because that's what hunters do. They lay in wait for the prey to come to them, and you won't be able to help yourself. You'll be drawn to that man and make it perfectly clear that you want him. And if he feels the same way, he'll come to you. Either that or he'll ignore you and wait for something better. That's the only situation in which a woman will naturally approach. I'm sure there's exceptions to the rule, but this is the case like 8 times out of 10.
If a woman chooses to approach a man and shoot her shot, is she more or less likely to be rejected than if the man approaches a woman?
Oh, the woman's gonna have like a 95% success rate if she goes up to a dude. Most men are not used to getting approached by women, and they receive virtually no compliments. That if you go up to this guy and compliment him, you're in like Flynn, and he's gonna remember that for at least 6 years. That is how rare we get compliments, but it's never gonna happen because the fantasy is more important to you than the reality of possibly getting into a relationship with a good man.
I feel like men are more likely to be rejected. Yeah.
So why do you think that women fear rejection when they're far less likely to be rejected?
Because they want the perfect man. Don't get me wrong, they're still gonna act like they're entitled to the perfect man, but let's just be real here. I mean, it's just not gonna happen.
Because women are just more sensitive. They have more feelings into it. I feel like men, they're used to being rejected. They're used to being turned down, but women aren't. So
actually, that is a fair point. I mean, you are so emotionally immature that if you get rejected, you get furious. Most men can't be bothered anymore because it's not just rejection. We actually have a lot more to lose in the approaching game than you do. But because your feelings get hurt easier, it's still our fault. That's awfully convenient.
When they get rejected, they feel it more personally. Yeah.
What advice would you give to the men that fear rejection?
Don't worry about it.
Why don't women just follow that same advice?
Because they don't want to. Because modern women are nothing if not hypocritical. That's why.
Shit. It's different. We have different emotions.
Yeah.
Why don't women just follow the same advice?
You are so good at this, aren't you? Because men are supposed to be the aggressor. I am not an aggressor, so I'm a woman. I think men are more aggressive, so you should come, you should do the approaching, and let me stay in my soft girl area.
Women want to be chased. They don't want to do the chasing.
Yeah, and I want a sandwich. Are you gonna be getting on that anytime soon? No? Well then shut the hell up.
So, related to that, if women approaching men is seen as desperate, why wouldn't it also make men look desperate?
It's just a different ball game for men and women. Like, as a woman, if you're approaching a guy, you're not in your feminine energy, you're in your masculine, and right off the bat.
How much you want to bet that she has absolutely no idea what the hell she's talking about, and she's just pulling out random words out of her ass to pretend like she can sound intelligent? Put me down for a couple of pennies. I'm good for it.
Well, why is anything that women don't want to do labeled masculinity? Why do men choose soft, feminine, even plastic women over tomboys, and then complain about high-maintenance women who bring nothing to the table?
Because it's very intimidating when you have a woman that's very strong for themselves because it eats at their masculinity.
Woman, you are not intimidating. At no point in your life have you ever been intimidating.
Individually.
My opinion, I think that men want to feel dominant and in charge or manly, and so I think that's probably why they would choose those types of women over tomboys.
A woman in her feminine will never chase, she'll attract.
Why would men want feminine women when many women are using femininity as an excuse to not be accountable?
Because the world's just freaking confused.
I think it's about the optics. I think that men want to be with women with the boobs and like the ass and everything. And
oh, so no wonder you're single. And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. Before signing off, I do want to take a second to give a special thank you to the Bounty Board. Gentlemen and gents, thank you so much for your continued support in making this channel possible. I say it all the time, but it doesn't make it any less true. I would not be here if it wasn't for you guys, so thank you once again. All hail! And if you're interested in supporting the channel, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where $5 a month will get you instant access to exclusive content you're not going to find anywhere else. Tales from the Lockverse, Adventures with Skeeter, Strolls Down Tinfoil Lane, plus some other cool stuff we got in the mix. Check it out if you're interested. The link is in the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.